Hey everyone, it's Mr. Seward. I am right now in my Onshape account and I want you to actually log into Onshape and follow along with me. And we're going to talk about and take a short tour of Onshape and the interface that we have in front of us. So first of all, you won't have all this stuff down in here. This is all the things that I've been drawing over the last year or so. And then up here, you're going to have last opened by me. That'll be blank for you for a couple days anyways. On the left-hand side, you're going to see the word Onshape, and then below that is what's called the Create button. And you have My Onshape, which is where we are right now. You have recently opened. You can explore all of these little icons as we go through the program. Now, I'm going to click where it says create, and there's 5 different choices here. The one that you want to use from this is the word document. So I'm going to click on document, and it's going to ask me to name the document. And for this particular video, we're going to name this one Tour. And we're going to say OK. And what it's going to do is it's going to go out to the internet and it's going to bring up our graphics area. And the graphics area is this zone in here. Now, this is the largest area of the screen. And I'm going to start going from left to right and just give you some general descriptions about all of this. We have the Onshape. If I clicked on this right now, this would take me back to the menu I was just on. We also have this hamburger icon right here, and this is useful for us to use for renaming documents, like if I wanted to name this something other than Tour, or changing some other things. You'll be getting into doing some copy workspace things that when I share something with you, you'll use this. We also have to the right of that what's called the versions and history. This shows me who started a drawing and who is the current owner of it. So that's an important little tool. We have the name, of course, of the document right here. Now, the next line of stuff down here, icons, is a lot of the tools that we use to actually build solid models. The first one that we're going to actually have to use when we get into making a drawing in the next video is the sketch one. And we're going to use the one to the right of that called extrude. Now, you probably can't see these on the video. These recorders don't always get these. But when I put my cursor on an icon, what happens is it always gives me a bunch of information about what that icon is. So it'll first name it, and if I leave it there long enough, what it'll do is it'll bring up the way that you go about using it. So these are different tools that we're going to use throughout the process. By the way, on this menu on the right hand side, you're going to see a little question mark, and that's the help menu. And Onshape has a great help menu. So if you don't know how to do something like extrude, might be the word that you would go in here, you would click on this and type extrude, and then it will go through and show you how to do or talk about how to do an extrusion. Now, this is very important over here. This is the feature tree, and the feature tree is going to grow. Right now, we have what are called the work planes. That's the top, front, and right-hand work planes. By the way, you can turn these off by I just put my cursor on this, and this little eye appears. And if you watch the one that's called top, it's highlighted in orange right now. If I click on that, it disappears. Okay, I can bring it back by clicking on the icon again. The work planes are necessary for us to start drawings with, but once we get going on the drawings, we might not need them to be visible, so you can turn off their visibility. This feature tree will grow as we build our models. If you don't want to see this thing, if you want more area on your graphics screen, and I never do this, but you can just click on this little icon right here, and that will shrink it over to the left, or you can click on it and it'll go to the right. Up here at the top is what's called the view cube. The view cube allows us, you can see, to move things around. I honestly pretty consistently use the corners of the view cube. I don't use the edges. I use the top corners, and if I want to look at the bottom of something, I can click the bottom of the view cube also. So this is what's called an isometric view right here. We have another icon right here. It's called camera and render options, and you're going to see the word isometric here. This is one way to access isometric. You're going to use this command quite a lot. The other way that you can do it is you can right click and also left click there to get isometric. So there's a lot of stuff on here. Isometric's the most important command for us right now. And then after that, there's other zooming tools and shading and colorizings on here someplace. So there's a lot of stuff with this menu. There's a couple things down here, configuration and custom tables. This is something that we will use occasionally also. It's called the show measure details tool. It looks like a tape measure. And then this guy over here is mass properties, and I'm not too worried about that with the students, you students in DDP. Across the bottom, you're going to see tabs, okay? The first one says Part Studio 1. The second one says Assembly 1. I'm going to right click on Part Studio 1 and select the word rename. And I am going to rename this. I'll just call this Tour 2, just for lack of anything else to call it. So you can rename it. So you right click and select rename. And that gives us the ability to label parts by name. We have also on here Assembly 1. Once we do some work with our puzzle cubes, we're going to start doing assemblies. So this will be an important tab. Don't delete it, leave it right there. Now, to add tabs, and you're going to see me do this in other videos, you always hit this little plus sign and say Create Part Studio. So you would click on this, and this will create a Part Studio. You'll see the work planes just like we had before, and you'll see Tour 2 is there. Now I can right click and rename this if I want to. So that's a quick tour of the Onshape interface. It's not really too difficult. It might be a little overwhelming right now, but as we use it more and more, you'll get very familiar with the tools that are on it. So, thanks for watching, Starpoint.